just raise your hand and we'll pass out the mic.
Obviously you don't completely have the Big Ten tournament spot secured, but pretty good chance that's going to be the case. Are you able to exhale a little bit knowing that's the case?
I just look at, you always look at the season in its totality. So, we have one more game to play and then hopefully we're still alive. But I watch Big Ten games every night and people are talking about, Minnesota winning 7 league games and they're talking about Nebraska winning 7 league games. We're in year one and here we are sitting with, nobody's talking about us at all. Big Ten Network's not talking about us. We have 7 wins and when you look at the win-loss column, we're tied with some programs that have been around for a while in this league. And like I said, Nebraska and Minnesota, have been getting a lot of compliments of late with travel and all that. Like, you got to look at the whole, league and, for this group to get 7 and to look at games like Ohio State at home and Minnesota game at home that, you can go back and, the Minnesota game I've never seen anything like it in all the years I've been doing it. Every little thing went wrong and there was controversy on stuff and I compliment this team for, giving their all because I think they have and has it been perfect? No, not by any means. We know we want to grow next year but right now we have another game left against Ohio State and then hopefully we throughout the totality of the Big Ten season, hopefully we'll be able to play in the Big Ten tournament.
Why do you think this team hasn't gotten the same attention or been talked about in the same way?
Yeah, I think that what's going to happen now is no different than what happens in the NBA. Your schedule is going to dictate winning streaks and losing streaks. That's just how it's going to be. And so, I knew the Ohio State game was going to be really hard after our travel. And so we have not played good basketball down the stretch, but, tonight's our largest margin of victory. And we were in town for a little bit and we finally, got our legs back and stuff. And there's no excuse because this is just, it's how it's going to be. But if you look at other really good programs in our league, Michigan State came out here. They've got 3 league losses. They came to Los Angeles and lost both games. Was it UCLA and USC's play or did it have to do a little bit with travel? Because you don't lose 3 league games and you lose 2 on one trip. It's not easy. And so our travel's been really difficult towards the end of the year. And so we haven't played our best basketball. Tonight was a step in the right direction. We played, really good halves like we did at Oregon. And then, I do think we missed, Terrence Williams' depth. And I think that hurt us in quite a few of our games this year. But tonight, thought we played, offensively really, really good. We played small ball and, you look at the rebounds, it's probably as good as night that we've rebounded the ball. And so, and we knew we had pressure to win this game tonight, plain and simple.
Coach, you answered a lot of what I was going to ask, so I'll switch directions. As much as you can say, we didn't see Rashawn or Saint in that senior night ceremony. Are you hoping to get those guys back? Any update on Terrence coming back? All 3 of those guys.
Yeah, great question. I don't think that, that's, with the way that, the landscape, I think, you just play the season out. What I did with, same thing I've done with all seniors is ask them, do you want to go through senior? I haven't asked them. I have someone in admin, just ask if you want to go through senior night. And, I think Sean and Saint feel that they're, that there might be an opportunity. I don't have the answer for it, you know what I mean? Because it's too hard for me to understand a lot of stuff. So, I think it's up to those guys. And compliance to sit down and go through that. But those two guys elected not to, and certainly Terrence Williams, I can answer that one. I mean, he should have another year of eligibility. Injury fits under how many games, so he's a player just like all our guys that, as soon as the season's over, we'll huddle up and talk to our guys and see where everything goes. But I can tell you, Terrence is locker room wise and experience and all that, being able to play three positions, I think he's really important to us. Just as Saint and Sean are. I just, I can't answer the eligibility because I don't know. But T will, we feel really confident that he will be granted another year.
Hey, Coach, you said tonight was a step in the right direction. You had four guys that had at least 3 assists. What do you make of the way you guys were able to move the ball tonight?
Yeah, I thought the 24 assists, phenomenal. Buzo, has shot the ball from 3 at a really good clip, and then tonight, he shot the ball like an NBA player. There's just not a lot of players that can shoot that percentage with a defense draped over him. And I thought a couple of them he got fouled on. When he shoots like that, he stretches the floor out and allows Desmond to dribble drive, and Desmond's assists were phenomenal. So a lot of really positive, things for us. And Wes didn't play like he has been. And if Wes has a big, that was probably one of Wes's, the most that he struggled in the last month. And so, hopefully some of these guys that had great games can play like that in Pauley Pavilion, and we can get Wes back to what he's capable of. But certainly offensively we were really good, and then defensively I thought we were phenomenal in the second half, not so much in the first half.
This being the last home game, I know you talked at the beginning of the season about creating a home environment and injecting some energy into this fan base and this program. Now that we are through that first year of home games, how do you just generally feel about the progress on that front?
I don't know if there was much progress. There will be next year because there'll be a lot of effort put in by all of us. I think some of the players coming in will be big draws. I think that'll, I think one guy can help us attendance wise. I can't talk about him. But I know that, walking around, whether it's on the Strand or whether it's at an NBA game, I do think that people understand who could be coming in here, and I do think there's a real good buzz about that. And then this year we didn't really have anybody coming back but Harry. Feel really confident that some other guys will be back, and so there'll be some name recognition on the roster, and so I think that'll help. And I haven't done what I've done in the past with the student body. New year, travel, but certainly this summer and into football season, I think you'll see us out a little bit more. We were out, not that we weren't out, but more of a conscious effort to build what we need to build.
All right, we didn't see Josh tonight. Any reason for that?
Well, when I came out for shoot around, Josh sprained his ankle today. I think he could have played, but he missed the first maybe 7 to 12 minutes of shoot around today because he went back and back with JY and got retaped. And then I don't think he wanted to play towards the end of the game. He's been a starter most of the year, so I think he didn't need, minutes that, and he let us know that with about 3 minutes, but maybe with about 5 minutes to go, that he was good. He had a great attitude, but he did sprain his ankle. And like I said, he missed somewhere between 7 to 12 minutes today of shoot around, and I just felt like, hey, we got a game coming up on Saturday, and only if needed.
And then the last thing for me tonight, that there were just moments where you you're up big in the second half and you still seem pretty frustrated at the group. Is that just a product of it's been a long season and you just have very high expectations? Is that just how you coach? Just something that stood out to me.
Yeah, I would say that I wear my emotions on my sleeve. Pretty evident. And like the people that I've worked for or worked around, you know, you try to coach for perfection every possession. Like I don't care if we're down 30 or up 30. You know, there's a standard for how you want to play offensively and defensively, and then I want to coach every player the same. Meaning, you know, if we have certain demands on Desmond Claude and Clark comes in, I want those same demands. And when Harry comes in, same thing. So I think my job is to teach and coach, and not, you know, I'm getting paid to coach for 40 minutes for 30 games or whatever. And so for me, you know, and you know, sometimes when we get down, I probably need to do a better job of just doing what I'm paid to do, which is coach every second. So I think just as a competitor, the way my dad raised me, being around Chuck Daly, being around Doc Rivers, I saw those guys do that, Hubie Brown, and so, you know, that's what I owe it to the players in my mind, and we're still teaching. You know, I guess I don't need to be, you know, some of my theatrics, my wife tells me, are embarrassing, but I'm not going to probably change at my age. I'm 60 and still acting like I'm 14 at times. So, but you know.
After losing 7 of 8, did it feel tonight like you figured some things out going into this last stretch? And knowing that there's this last UCLA game and the tournament, what do you feel like this team still needs to do to really, you know, make an impression over that stretch?
Yeah, I mean, look, when you've lost 7 out of 8, it's never easy on anybody. I mean, I coached the Sacramento Kings and Golden State Warriors when they weren't exactly lighting the NBA on fire. So I've been through it, and you just have to, you know, you can't let this team see you flinch, and you've got to continue with your same preparation. And even in all those, like, we're exhausted playing Ohio State, and we're down 17, and you look up with, I don't know how much time, and it's a tie ball game. Like, this group is really trying, and we have some holes for sure. But yeah, I think tonight, like, that's our largest margin since Southern. So I don't care who you play, I don't care where the game is. We played really good tonight. I don't know, it's not going to carry over, I mean, because every game's got its own theme, its own identity. But this team needed a win, I guess, to answer your question, right? Like, we haven't won in a while. So we needed to win, and as I look back at the season right now, I mean, the Minnesota home loss hurt us big time, and the Cal game at home hurt us big time. I mean, those are the 2 games and Northwestern on the road without Dez. Those are the 3 games that, you know, because we were 5-5 at one point and right on an NCAA bubble line, and you know, going to Rutgers and Maryland took a toll on us.
Last question.
You've mentioned Harrison a few times now. I've got to ask. I mean, you see him coming at the end of there. He makes the 3, gets the steal on the block. How cool is that to see, you know, as a coach at the end of the season here on his senior night?
Yeah, I mean, I told the team, like, we talked early in the season, like in the summer actually, about, you know, because I think I've had 7 teammates come and watch us play a game. 7 of my teammates from 83 to 87. And every time they come in, I have them talk to the team. Not about basketball, but how can I be 60 years old and I have 7 teammates coming to support us, and then the relationship. And so I told the guys that, like, when you get to be my age and you look back at your teammates in college, it has nothing to do with who's leading scorer. It has absolutely nothing to do with who got the most rebounds or played the most minutes. It's going to be who conducted themselves like professionals in the classroom, off the floor, in practice, in the locker room. Like, the locker room dynamics and how you conduct yourself are way more important than anything that happens on the court 30 years later. And Harry's been unbelievable. I mean, I've asked him about so much stuff because I'm learning. This whole year I'm learning about USC and culture here and all those things. And Harry's been an incredible help. But to go in the game, he played like a pro. Like, he He made an open three. He was mentally into it. He didn't look at his garbage time. And then he had a steal in the post. So now I got to go back and go, do I need to play him a little? Like, I mean, all honesty, like when a guy goes in the game and plays well, then you know, and that's what you want to do to a coach, is make him have second thoughts about things. And you know, he is a really good shooter. And he went in there and got a steal. So, like, he played his minutes phenomenal, and he has conducted himself off the floor. I can't say enough positive words about how he has been as a teammate to those guys and how he's been, you know, to the whole coaching staff. It's been really cool.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.